So hey guys, welcome back to my channel again. My name is Arsalan and today we are on day 7th of building the problem solving skills with the help of Python. Now if you're very new to this channel, very new to this playlist, let me give you a very brief introduction of what this playlist is all about. So in this playlist we have been building logic, we have been building problem solving skills with the help of Python, and we are using boolean data types to do so. Now we have already did with we are already done with string data types, also already done with integers data type, and in the upcoming tutorials we will be dealing more data types such as list, such as dictionary, such as tuples maybe. Now in this tutorial we have covered so many questions already. Now in the upcoming tutorials we will be doing more questions. Now our idea here is to make our problem solving skills developed, and this will be not done in a day, it will be done over time. Now let me give you a very brief introduction. Let me just give you a very brief overview of what I did already. Now you can see that we have covered so many questions already, and they were already they were very easy questions, and now we have increased the bar. As my in my on my day 6 we have solved we have created a program where it was a user authentication, and we did it uh, with help of boolean data types. Now on day 7th we will be doing it the same way which we did on day 6th. So we will be using boolean data types to do so. What we will be doing here is we will be creating a function that will be just taking a list intersection in fact. Now let's just read out the question, and just before starting to solve this question, please do subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, press the bell icon button, and bookmark the playlist so that you can get the updates from the channel. Now the question says create a Python function that takes two lists as input and returns true if they have at least one common element and false otherwise. Now what exactly it means? It means that let's suppose we have a list 1 as equals to uh, 1 2 3 4 and 5. Now list 2 is equals to, let's suppose we have 6 7 8 9 and 1 and 1. Now we have two lists, list 1 and list 2. What you have to do here is you have to create a Python program that takes two lists as input and return true if they have at least one common element. So if they have one common element, so let's say we have list 1, and list 1 is equals to 1 2 3 4 5, and list 2 as 6 7 8 9 and 1. Now you can see that 1 is common between list 1 and list 2. So if even one of the element is common between both of them, we will be returning true. If even not even one is common in both of them, we will be returning false. So let's say we have list 1 is equals to this and list 1 2 is equals to this. So we will be returning what? We will be returning uh, false, true value, in fact true value. And if I say that I have another list 1 and list 2, so and I have 10 here instead of 1, so you can see that there is no common values, so we'll be returning what? False. Now this there is nowhere written that there is nowhere written that these values should be numbers or integers value. It could be string as well, it could be boolean value as well, it could be list inside list as well, it could be dictionary as well, it could be anything inside a list. But we are just making it simple that we are taking numbers only, so that we can compare numbers easily. Now if you want to take strings, it's all up to you. It will be giving you the same logic as it will be giving you for numbers. And you can also take number list sorry string inside it, and numbers means mixture of strings and numbers, and this is what we can do. Now we will be taking numbers only, so that we should understand the logic. You can take more values, you can just mix more data types inside a list. That's all up to you. Now list data types can hold multiple data types. It can also hold numbers, it can also hold strings, it can also hold boolean, it can also hold dictionaries, etc etc. So you can hold any values inside it, but our idea here is to check for numbers only. Means it is not asked in the question, but I am making it so because it will be giving you more clarity. If you can understand it, I'll be giving you that way also, but that's not the point of the question. It's just the point here is to understand that we have to understand the logic, that what is happening. All right, so let's just start solving this question. So let's suppose we have a function as list intersection. Now let's suppose we have two lists as list 1 and list 2. We have to find the now what we have to do, we have to find the intersection between both of these values. So what I can say here is that for items in items, or you can just say elements in list 1. So the element in the list 1, if I print elements, let's just say we have a list here, print list intersection, and if I just print L1 only, list 1 will be, let's say 1 2 3 4 5, and this has 6 7 8 9 and 1. It's just the same which we have done it earlier. Now this list is same which we have just did. It is the example list. To put it in a more simpler word, it's just the example list. Now let's say if I print this code here, you will be seeing that all the elements will be in my terminal. It is showing none. So why it is showing me none value? Let's say print list intersection 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 1. Now we have print for element in list 1, it is showing me this, and so actually I haven't saved it. So if I run this code now, it should be giving me 1 2 3 4 5. It is giving me none because I have printed it twice. If I remove this print value, it will be not giving me none value. If I run this code for you again, you can see that that the none value has gone. However, I will be printing it because I have to return this value. I will be returning something, and that's why I will be printing it. So now this was the first for what I did here is I just created a loop and I've printed elements. Now I have to check that whether these elements for element in list 1, if element in list 2 print element. Now I'm saying that if for element in list 1, if element in list 2 print elements, which means that for every element in list 1, if that element is inside list 2, print that element. Let's just run this code and return element. I will be returning this element, not printing, because I have printed the function here below. So let's just run this code and show it to you that what we are getting. We are getting 1 because 1 is common between both of them. If I have no values, let's say I have 10 here instead of 1, it should be giving me no value. See, it is giving me none. Now we will be not returning a number, we will be returning boolean value in fact. So we'll saying that true and return false for all the condition which are not there. So return false if there is no value inside it. So I will be returning false for all the condition, and if you do not understand this part, you can just say that it like this as well. You can just put it else return false. Now this is also correct way of doing it. Now let's just run this code and show it to you that what we are getting exactly. We are getting true and false, which means that there are some common inside 1 and 2, means for list 1 and list 2 in my first printed function, and it's in second printed function there are no common values. If I take what I was discussing here is that that we are not bounded to take only numbers, we can also take various values. So let's just format document here. Now what I can do here is, see guys, if I take, instead of this I can take 2 here, 2, and I can put 2 here, and I can put 2 here. So now if I remove this 1 from here, which was of course the common value between both of them. So right now what I can do here is, if I run this code here, you can see that 2 is common between list 1 and list 2. It should still be giving me true value. So as you can see, it is returning me false value. Let's say what's the error coming up here. 1 2 3 4 5 uh, 6 7 8 9 2. So if I just, instead of this, if I return elements and print this value, I'm just showing it to you that how we can fix the errors. So it is giving me 2, so there is 2 inside it. So why it's not throwing me so element in this? So it should be returning me true, else returning me false. So let's just run this code again and check. So it is returning me false. So what we can do here is we can just exit the loop, because it is creating the problem, because we are just iterating it again and again. So now if I just try it one more time, so you can see it's running now fine. So what it was doing here is it was just going directly inside the else condition. That first of all it was checking, and then it was saying else for false for all the conditions. So it was coming else. So it was just going directly inside the else condition. So that why I was not getting the proper value. It was inside the loop, and then in each iteration it was checking. It was checking. So in the first condition only it went inside the loop and check that it is a false condition. So let me just explain it to you that what it happened exactly. So return, when I did return false, so what it will do, it will first of all check for element in list 1. All right. So the element for here was 1 previously, so it will check for 1 in list 2. So there is no 1, right? So it will directly go outside the loop, means it will directly return me false value. If I put 1 here, and comment this and show it to you, so you can see right now it will be giving me true value. See, it's giving me true value. Now why it is happening, guys, let me just put it like this, that let's just put some space below here, here as well, and here as well. Now what has happened here is that, see, the element here, first element is 1, right? First element is 1 only. Now it for 1 it will check that whether it is inside list 2 or not. So 1 is not inside list 2, right? So 1 is not inside list 2, which means that list 1 has 1 but list 2 has not 1. So it will be throwing me false value directly, because it will check for 1. It will check for 1 in the first iteration itself. It will be giving me false value. Let's just run this code. You can see that you are getting false. Why we are getting false again? Because as I told you that it will for one there is 1 element here, right? So it will be checking for 1 in list 2. All right, it will be checking for 1, and it will, if there is not a 1 inside, if there is no 1 inside list 2, then it will be just directly throwing me a false value without seeing the next element, so it will be not checking for 2 and 2, because it will be just directly going inside the false condition. Now I suppose that you've understood this question. Let's just put it in another way. Let's say that I have if I remove 1 from here and run this code again, now right now what we have 2 here, and this element is the first element of list 1. All right, and if I check it in list 2, what it will be doing here, it will be checking the 2 inside the list 2. All right, so if I run this code, it will be again showing me true value. All right, so to remove this behavior, to check for each individual iteration, what we did here is we remove this else from here, because we do not want to do it, because it is only checking for first element. If it is not meeting the condition for first element, it is just not checking for the rest of the elements inside the list 1. All right, so that's why we just remove this value from else value from here, and then we just directly return false. All right, so if I run this code, you will be seeing that I am getting the exact correct value which I was getting previously. So now if I take 1 again here, or let's say I have 5 here, which is of course the last two elements in both of the list, so it will be again showing me the true values. Now I can take another values. Let's say if I take empty list here, that's as I said that we can also take list inside list. You can do it like this as well. I can take 1 2 3, and you can do it like this as well. Now if I run this code, you will be seeing that I'm getting true. Now this was all we have to do in the question, guys. Hope you have understood this question, guys. Hope you have liked this tutorial, guys, and hope that you will be subscribing to my channel. Now if you believe that this playlist is helping you guys a lot, you can just also share it with your friends so that they can also get benefit from this playlist. Thank you guys for watching this tutorial, and see you next time.